Councilor Dahl.
It's been a very good campaign. We've seen you speak on numerous occasions, and I admire both of your enthusiasm and energy, and you seem very committed to the community, but we have a choice to make a week from today. And one thing that I've been thinking about that I haven't heard a lot of specifics on, and it's something we face at the university, we've got to make some hard choices about where we're going to cut back. And you both talked about, well, we need to reduce spending. I'd be very grateful to hear some specific examples of how you would reduce spending.
Freeze all spending that the city of La Crosse has right now. The budget that we have in front of us needs to be frozen. Add no more the next cycle. We will have increase in development down the line that will bring in increased revenue, and ultimately the tax burden will go down.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to go back because this has become something that is very unfair. Rotary lights, I am not against rotary lights, and either is the sustainable plan. This is something that's been misused, and I feel badly about that because we have been trying to run a real ethical campaign. But Rotary Lights is the response of one of 60-some people who wrote ideas they had for making La Crosse more sustainable. It's in an appendix item in the back of the book. It is not part of the plan. It is just representing that one of the people who we would be serving as mayor said they would like to see Rotary Lights go away. I've been in this community from the beginning of Rotary Lights. I put lights on some of the first trees. And my children would be upset to hear this because for 10 years when they went to Logan High School, we used to take the lights down. So they'd be upset to find out we're not for it anymore. The other thing about, I would just have to say that that's an ethical thing to do, is to take something out of context and then use it inappropriately, because what it does is get misinformation out there. So I have provided before, sustainablelacrosse.org is the website. You can go check it out. It is on page 49 and is one comment of 60-some people who responded to our survey. So I can just clear that up. Now, how would I do specifically, how would I help with the downfalls? And I know I came when Governor Doyle was here to talk to UWL because I was concerned about what's going to happen to all of you because you have shortfalls and you're trying to figure out how to deal with them. I want to keep people working. I want people to have jobs. I don't think it's healthy for a community for people not to get to work. So before I would do anything else, I would go, besides tightening up and having some efficiencies, which will get you down a little bit but not enough, I would go to the people that work for the city and say we either freeze our wages or even take a reduction in order to make up those shortfalls. I think that's the fairest and best way for the community. That keeps services, it keeps people working, and it solves the problem.
How would you ensure that college students their voice would be valued and considered at City Hall?
Well, again, we've touched on this a little bit already, so I don't want to be real redundant, but I have spent a lot of time coming onto campus, both in alternate transportation. I've been one of the people that went down to Ames, Iowa to study how they do their bus system so that we can increase bus service here on campus, and we're talking about doing a circulator. But we came to campus and found out what are the needs, what are the problems, working with you to solve those. I've also worked with legislation that kept landlords, the ones you pay the big rent to, responsible for having places kept up. Again, I have 3 young people who have been living in all sorts of places in Minneapolis, Flagstaff, and Madison. And again, I know what you suffer when they don't do insulation and the windows leak and you have mice. So I'm trying to raise the standards so that you guys, when you pay your rent, you're getting an affordable but very livable place to stay. So those are some of the issues. There's many more. Community car is something that we're looking at right now that I think is exciting. It would help, especially freshman students, have access to a car so that they could go get groceries or go to the store or something to be able to bring things back. But not have to have one on campus. That's going to save everybody money. You won't have to pay insurance and worry about the parking. So I have been talking with students also about the alternate parking issue. I think I, last month, spoke up on behalf of not raising the ticket and also trying to look for other ways of solving the issue of having to plow in the winter, but on days like today when there's no snow, you guys shouldn't be getting tickets.
Well, first off, I'd like to take the opportunity to respond my opponent's response to the last question. Those things that I mentioned are in the plan. So if it's unethical to take those out of context, I apologize, but they are in the plan. And as I said, sustainability is a good thing. Sustainability is something we are going to move towards. But we do need to be very clear on what we are moving towards. And those clauses that I called for earlier, I don't feel are acceptable and do need to be removed, so we are very clear. This is a plan. It's a 67-page plan, and we do need to be very clear on what we're serious about and what we're not serious about. The good things in there we should leave in and be very serious about. Things that the community does not want, we should be very serious about and take them out of the plan. Moving on to the next question, could you please repeat that, Joe?
Has to do with how students voice the value.
Well, as I said earlier, first we'll start listening to you. I know we just raised the parking ticket fee, and I think most students probably wouldn't like to see that. My opponent did vote for raising the parking fines, and once again, these are things we've got to move towards involving the community, listening to what students have to say, moving towards parking. There are all kinds of options we can move towards to help out parking here on campus. We could do diagonal parking, which would increase parking. We could possibly eliminate roads near the campus from the alternate side parking we have. And these are things we've just got to get in here and talk about and communicate. So, as I said to the prior two questions regarding this, it's going to be about communication and getting in here and involving everybody on the campus in the process.
Next question.